Oh, what happened to my other video? I thought I pressed pause. Hmm. Okay, well, I guess it's true you first started the video. Although if I find the original one, I'm still gonna post it first before this one. Girl, do your bangs. Girl, do your bangs. You're taking a video. So I had to go grab my vest because I have the fan on above head on the full speed. Just to keep the airflow moving in here. Hold on, I want to like bring this just a little bit closer. I have my oracle cards out, but I can drag this thing a little bit closer like that, so I don't feel so far away from you guys. So, get this thing situated. I'm finding spots, guys. So, yeah, I went to grab my vest because the fan is on, just to keep the air circulation moving, and that brings me right to one of my first points that I had in my mind to speak on, which is my mom borrowed me her vacuum, and I used it today. I vacuumed my only like carpeted rug, and I vacuumed it really good. And my mom has a nice like good vacuum. It's cordless and it works really well, and I felt really grateful to borrow her vacuum, and I took good care of it when I was using it. So I vacuumed my rug, which I have been wanting to vacuum for a long time now. I have a little Ryobi vacuum that my friend Last Boy gave me. Shout out to Last Boy. Him and Heather and family have really hooked me up. Like, they've really helped me out with a lot of things. And he's given me hand-me-down tools. And in fact, the drill and the driver that I use right now are from him. In fact, I even built a cage one time for Juno using his Ryobi tools before he gave them to me. He borrowed them to me, including the saw. And thanks to him, I was able to build one of Juno's cages in a previous home. So, yeah, man, when I use the stuff that loved ones have given me on a daily basis, and it really helps my day, I feel connected and I feel a sense of gratitude. You know, even if it's just the vacuum. Like, my mom didn't have to borrow me her brand new, fancy, expensive vacuum, but she did. And I'm also grateful that she lives close enough to me that we can do that and that we can connect. These are really big blessings that I don't take for granted, and that's one of the small daily practices that I've cultivated. At first, it was more conscious. I think I started developing like a very conscious practice of going through my mind and what I'm grateful for and what I have gratitude for and who I'm praying for and what I'm praying for them for, and wishing them abundance on and prosperity and health and healing and support on. I started that, I believe, like really deep into it 2019 when I had COVID. Was that when I had COVID? I had COVID when my nephew was born. It was wild because I have a story to share with you about my nephew and how we actually connected psychically before he was born. And I have proof because I have my sister as a witness to like corroborate, the story or whatever, because it ended up being this whole synchronicity thing with his name. But that's a story I'll share another time. I want to ask her if it's okay if I share his name and everything too. But his name means happy. So, but yeah, so I had COVID. I was so excited to meet him and like be there when he was born or soon after he was born. And I had COVID that week. Like, wild. Like, and I was going through some other things, you know, at the same time. And just being, supporting myself and my kids, these guys. And I was an independent contractor at the time. I didn't have benefits. I loved my job, and it was a good job for me in every way. I got to choose make my own hours, and yeah, it was great. It was amazing. But I didn't have benefits. I didn't have the option to have benefits, and I wasn't like paying for any type of benefit outside of the job. So the whole COVID was completely unpaid. And it was at that point that I decided that even though I'm comfortable doing what I was doing, and I was just thinking of making myself more stationary in that spot, but then I got COVID there, and it kind of changed my perspective. I was like, you know what, actually maybe this isn't it. You know, maybe this isn't. It really kind of did the hangman card for me and made me look at things another way instead of through the like complacent way. It made me look at things through the bigger picture and ask myself, okay, is this really what you want to experience out of a job? Is this really what you want to be doing? Is this really what you're passionate about? You know, and my answers were no. It was just, it had worked up until that point, but that's not what I wanted for my vision, for my future. So during COVID, I decided to start making some lifestyle changes. I decided I was going to change my living situation, and in order to do that, I needed to build up credit. I was in debt, but I didn't have any credit cards, so I got some credit cards and I started using them and paying them off right away. And I told myself, I'm making a 1-year plan. I'm going to do this and put a couple more side jobs on top of my full-time job, and hustle for 1 year in order to make these changes. And I did, and I moved forward into that vision. I forgot what I was telling you guys. What even brought up this? Last time I tried to pause this, it stopped, and I swear I hit the pause button, but it's like where my finger pressed, it pressed the other button, like, you know, my finger touched the pause button, but it's like my energetic field activated the stop button or something like that, because I forgot what my point was of this whole, like, really, I don't remember. Let me think. Hold on, let me try this. Let the pause gods be with me. I'm gonna go that side, boy. I just took a sip of my Topo Chico that I got from the store today. I walked to the store. It took me 2 hours because my body wasn't really feeling very fast because of this thing going on. So I did a slow walk because it was sunny out. It's January in the Midwest, but it was like 40 degrees. It felt like springtime. So I was like, I don't want to miss out. I know the temperatures are about to plummet again. So plummet. So I was like, I need to get out there, and I don't know, it's motivating for me, like, sometimes to just have a destination. Like, the co-op is like a good distance for me. If I'm walking, if it's not icy, okay, if it's not winter and I'm walking at like a fast pace, I get there in like 15 minutes. But when there's snow and ice and puddles and it's slippery, then even at my fast pace it's like 30 minutes. So then being on a slow pace on top of the winter scenario is like longer. So it took me from I started walking at about 1 p.m. I got home at 3. But I did sit in the little cafe area that they have, and they had fresh cut flowers on all the tables, and I just wanted to take a video of them because they were pink and yellow and like tiger lilies, which is actually my nickname, which is ironic because I was just talking about Lost Boy, and I gave Lost Boy his nickname, and he gave me my nickname, Tiger Lily. So, holla, I gotta call him up and see what's good. It's been a minute, so that's beautiful. What's up, Lost Boy? What's up, dude? So, that's cool. But the flowers just brightened everything. They really raised the vibe in there. It was so beautiful. There's been so much going on everywhere. And I kind of got the gut instinct that that was somebody's motivation for putting them out. Because I haven't seen that before there. Where they put the flowers out on all the tables and on the counter. Like, man, it was so cute. I sat down at that table to respond to text messages because I knew right when I got home that I'd be with Juno right at 3, and then at 4:30, okay, at 4:20 I would do the switch, make sure Juno's situated, get it all switched over to have Suyo come out, and then I'm with him until at least 6:30. So I took that moment to sit in the sunlight with the flowers and just respond to some messages. But my whole point was gratitude, y'all. Gratitude, baby. This is my plan. Reaching out to me. My throat hurts. Why are you talking? Why are you talking, bitch? Why are you using your voice and hurting our ears with it? You know, if it hurts, because I've got a message to put out. So, you know. I love this stuff. This is the lime. Oh, it's so good. I saw a cute pair, a man and a woman, like a few times ago when I was at the co-op, and it looked like they were doing like a date vibe. Maybe to me it looked like they were kind of like newly getting to know each other, and they were just doing like a low-key date. That was just if I had to guess, you know, that's what my guess would have been. They each had a sushi and they each had one of these, you know, and the man was buying them, and he asked the cashier, he was like, do you have any bottle openers? And then when he said that, it kind of caught my attention. I was kind of like, why is he asking the cashier for a bottle opener? And then I looked over and saw all their cute stuff and saw their Topo Chicos. I was like, damn, that looks good. I'm gonna get one of those. So I got a couple of them. And it worked out yesterday because my belly wasn't happy with me yesterday, and I wasn't eating, but I was drinking one of these, and it was just perfect. So, but gratitude. Yeah, that practice deeply started for me during COVID. I mean, I experienced it before, but yeah, during that time, I made a point. You know, I was feeling depressed. I felt depressed different times in life, down-pressed, you know, and I like to rest as my body asks, my body and mind, but I also really like to take action. For me, taking action and moving my body really helps to get my energy flowing, and get my mind flowing, and get everything good. So I started taking action mentally by going through all the things I could think of every day that I was grateful for, and it's like I had to cut it, you know, at a point, because I realized there's just literally so many things. And then I also started becoming like the things that are not in my life that I'm grateful for. Like, it even went there, it's, you know, or like experiences that I don't have that I'm grateful for, you know. So, and how much different life would be if certain things were different. And yeah, so, but you know, it's like some people could tell me that I'm goofy, like, oh, she's sitting here like giving gratitude that her mom borrowed her a vacuum. But like, when you're grateful for what the universe gives you, the universe sees that and knows that, acknowledges that, and then shows you more. It gives you more. So, you know, people can say whatever they want, but the proof is in the pudding, sis. The proof is in the pudding, brother. So, talk don't mean nothing. So, by itself, you know, there has to be a frequency behind it, and an action behind that is helpful as well. So, what was I going to tell you all about? Gratitude was one thing. I had a dream last night that I was in a group home situation with people of all different ages, people who I didn't know, they were strangers to me, and one young woman, I would say she was about 14 years old, came up to me. We were in the kitchen, and like, I think I said something to her. Oh, this is ironic that I started out talking about my nephew. Okay. She made a comment to me that in my dream was triggering. She said something to the effect of, you come at me like you're my auntie. Like, don't come at me like that. Was kind of, like, she didn't say don't come at me like that, but that was the energy in the dream, was telling me, like, don't treat me like I'm your niece. So, but what she said was, like, you come at me like you're my auntie. Like, it was like an accusation. And in my dream, that triggered me. And in my dream, I remember, like, that was a jab to my heart, like, and I immediately responded to her, and I was like, well, I am an auntie, so maybe that's why I come at you like an auntie, because it's just part of who I am, and I'm just being myself. So I was, like, definitely a little bit defensive there. Definitely, like, triggered and offensive. And then, like, I could feel, and I could feel I was, like, becoming emotionally charged in my dream, and I recognized it, and I said to her, even though it was difficult because I felt so charged, and I said to her, what I wanted to say to her was, will you come talk to me about this? I want to ask you how you want me to treat you, and I want to share with you a little bit of background about maybe why I come across that way, and see what type of a middle ground we can find here with each other, where I can respect your boundaries and how you want to be treated and still be myself. That was what I meant to articulate to her. But what came out was, come talk to me, please. Like, out of desperation, I was like, come talk to me, please. Don't talk to me, I ain't got no voice. So I woke up and I, like, kind of reflected. I get a moon reading, weekly lunar reading, and it's the best shit ever. Like, the person, whatever, sends these lunar horoscopes, every single one, I've been getting them for years, weekly on Sundays, for years, and every single time, and it's like somewhere between 5 and 7 paragraphs, usually, I would say, but each paragraph, it's like it's tailor written just for me, and the amount of information and the way that it's worded is, like, so deep and so insightful, and also a little bit witty, and also there's key words and key phrases that are unique to me from the previous week before the reading comes, that it's like, dude, this is meant for me, like, and those keywords and key phrases, they don't pop up in the other ones. So that right there, puddin, baby, puddin. Hostess, that's the stuff. So I woke up and I was reflecting on my dream a little bit when I was in that state of waking up still, and the dream was still fresh, and I'm like, why did I have a dream that I was treating a stranger like my niece? And she was asking me to, like, approach her differently in a way that she wanted. I'm like, am I treating somebody like I'm their auntie? You know, and she said auntie, and I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking about like auntie and niece relationships, and I just kind of gave up. I was like, well, maybe it will pop up later. I can't really think of anything. Maybe like I have an auntie energy when I talk to people sometimes, and I don't know. I have no idea. Damn, y'all. Gonna have to cut this one after this story, I think. Sacrifice the other stories. Yeah. If I could just clear my throat one more time to finish this story. So I went for my walk to the co-op, and as I was coming back into my apartment building, I thought to myself, should I check my mail? Today is Monday, and I checked my mail Saturday, and I thought to myself, we don't get mail Sundays, so I'm checking it Saturday, and I can chill for a couple days, you know, like, it probably ain't gonna fill up. So at first I was like, oh yeah, it's not Sunday, it's Monday, so I could have mail. But so my first instinct was to check it, and then my brain got involved, and my brain started trying to talk me out of it. And my brain said, well, you know, you checked it on Saturday, remember? And you told yourself that there's nothing gonna be there on Sunday, so it's only Monday. Chances are you probably didn't even get anything. If you did, probably not that much. And if so, it can wait for another day. But my hands were cold, and also, so the mailbox, like, you go in the building in a different spot. It's like a little bit closer access. But also, like, I was like, you know, I'm gonna go check my mail in case there's something important, was really like what popped into my head. I just felt like if there's something important, I want to go grab it. So I stopped in my mailbox, and well, I did get an important notice. Look. Important notice. Ooh, check this one out. Time sensitive information. But the one I want to show you, I haven't opened any of these yet, but this is the one here. Now, how am I supposed to show you this? I can't show you the front because it has everybody's addresses on, but this one, which I haven't opened yet, is from my aunt who lives out of state, who I have never received mail from before. And we had a Thanksgiving get together with the family, and I literally was talking to my mom on the phone after, and I literally spoke to my mom. I said about this particular aunt, I said, yeah, I was really happy to see this aunt. I felt bad. I didn't really feel like I got a chance to talk to her more, but also, like, we were playing games, and we had teams, and she was on the other team, like on the couch with her team, and I was over there on my team. And it, you know, up until that point, everyone was kind of scattered in different groups and scenarios and all that, so it didn't line up. So I was telling my mom, yeah, like, I feel bad, you know, I didn't even, like, talk to her that much, like, well, I got a letter from her today, and I really want to open it with you guys, so, especially after having a dream about auntie energy. So I've never gotten mail from her before, so let's open it. I'm so excited about this. So I think my other aunt must have given her my address. Wow. I mean, my parents could have too, actually, so, but this is exciting. Aww. I'm not gonna show you the picture, but aw, there's a picture of her with Santa. This is really special. Damn. There's a letter in here. There's a letter in there. This entire other side of it, from top to bottom is a typed message. Let me pause this. Okay, yeah, oh, that letter definitely got me, y'all. She recapped her whole year, and speaking of gratitude, what a grateful woman. She has been through so much. You know, I'm not trying to put her business, but when I say she's been through a lot, she's been through a lot. And all of her letters, she's like giving gratitude. You know, she tells about everything that happened factually, but, you know, she still acknowledges all the really positive things in her life. And yeah, that just hit. I gotta blow my nose. But I'm gonna cut this because my throat hurts, but I'm still using it anyways for talking. My mind was like thinking of something different, but that's not what I'm using it for. I'm just, sometimes I say things and then I think how they're gonna be interpreted after I say it. So then I said for talking, I don't know, never mind. No. But, yeah, we're gonna leave out the other stories for tonight, and I just have many more to share, but it took a while to get to this point. So thanks for winding down with me, guys, and I appreciate you all. I'm grateful for you all, and good night.